You know, politicians pretty well known for doublespeak. Tonight, 7 Action News investigator Ross Jones has what just might be the latest example to come out of Lansing.
Democrats were quick to jump on Governor Rick Snyder's secret fund. But what happened when Ross asked questions about their own funds?
For Democrats the last year in Lansing, nerd was the word, as party leaders, legislators, and strategists took square aim at Governor Rick Snyder's secret nerd fund. They took out ads slamming Snyder's secrecy, sent blistering press releases calling the nonprofit a slush fund, and even started a Twitter campaign demanding Snyder name his donors. Democrats gave Snyder an earful over his secret fund, but it turns out they have a few secrets of their own. The Michigan Quality of Life Fund was founded back in 2001 by a politician who wasn't well known back then, but has gained some notoriety since. Kwame Kilpatrick founded the nonprofit while he was still a state rep in Lansing. Its purpose? To promote the social welfare of all Michigan citizens in the political and legislative process. Kilpatrick left the fund the next year after being elected mayor, but it's been used by Democratic House leaders ever since. Today, its president is Representative Brandon Dillon, and over the last 3 years on file, the fund has taken in more than $560,000.
This fund is just as secret as the governor's, and I don't see anybody from your party offering to make it open or anything other than a secret.
Well, as I've said, we are willing to look at our fund, the structure and the organization going forward. Our fund is used to educate the public about issues that are coming up with the legislature.
Democrats like Dillon were upset to learn that Snyder's donors were paying the $100,000 salary of key advisor Richard Baird and for the living expenses of emergency manager Kevin Orr here at the Book Cadillac Hotel. But the Democrats' fund is paid for similar expenses. Between 2009 and 2011, it paid more than $180,000 in travel, lodging, meal, and entertainment expenses. Dillon says there's no comparison.
Paying for Kevin Orr's housing expenses out of a fund that has contributors that could potentially benefit from his decisions in the Detroit bankruptcy is much different than us using our fund to go around the state with Democratic members and listen to constituents as part of a task force process.
Unlike campaign funds, donations to these nonprofits are kept secret from the public. Exactly how they're used is also kept hidden, which makes it easier for abuse to go unnoticed from the public, as Kwame Kilpatrick, Bob Vacano, and others have shown.
It's very easy to abuse these funds. Would you agree?
I think if bad people are in place, in control of money, whether public or private, they can do things that are wrong. There is absolutely no suggestion that there is anything here that is wrong.
Indeed, funds like these have only become more popular. As we first reported last week, Attorney General Bill Schuette founded his only a week after he was elected. He says his On Duty for Michigan fund was set up to pay for expenses that taxpayers would otherwise have to foot. Going forward, he says he'll disclose the fund's donors. And the Future Michigan Fund has worked closely with Senator Roger Kahn. Last year, it took in more than $118,000 and spent more than $22,000 on polling, phone calls, and ads. When we went to talk to Senator Kahn at his office, his staff said his schedule was booked.
Does he have any time at all today?
Really, no.
If there's no controversy here, as is the case with all these funds, why don't you just show people how they're used?
Well, as I said, we'll go back and make sure we have a robust review of our organizational structure and how we have presented ourselves in the past and how we'll present ourselves in the future.
Senator Kahn's office wouldn't answer my questions about how the fund operates, instead referring me to a lawyer who hasn't called me back. But they did say this: their donors will remain a secret, too.
So any odds of lawmakers ever just like maybe outlawing these things?
I wouldn't hold my breath. You've got Republicans using them, you've got Democrats using them, and when you can get them to agree on one thing, they like secret funds, the odds of them deciding they don't want to use those anymore is pretty high.
It's tough, and it's going on all over the country.
All over the country. And they just want them to remain secret, and then sometimes they're not. Yep.